Hello everyone, this is Akash Chauhan, and in today's lecture we will be discussing about constructors in C++. To understand constructors, let me take an example so that it would be super easy for us to understand what is constructor. Okay, so this is the basic example in the code. So this is how we define a class and the name of the class. This is the class, and we define public access specifier, and then this is the way to define a constructor. We will discuss about this constructor in detail, but let's pay little attention on that. The name of the constructor is same as the class name. So, and these open and close brackets, it makes this the constructor a special method. We usually add these open and close brackets for methods, right? So this is a special method in which we write some logic. Okay, and if you pay a little more attention to that, it is a public and returning nothing. Okay, so constructor is something which is a special method. It contains some logic. Okay, it would return nothing, and the name of the constructor is same as the class name, and it is always public. So this is the constructor. We will see what is the use of constructor and how to invoke constructor, but these are the basics about constructor. Okay, so this is the main method, and here we are creating my class object. My object is the object. So if you pay little attention, that my object is the object for this class, and this is the default constructor. When you don't pass any parameter in the constructor, this is the default constructor, and it will always be invoked whenever you create a default object. So this is the default object without any parameter. So you are creating it, and it will automatically invoke this constructor. So we can write some of the things during the object creation. That is what we have written: create an object my class, and this will call the constructor automatically. Okay, so what we have discussed, let's write one by one. So constructor is a special method which is automatically called when an object of a class is created. Okay, so in that case, this is the default because we are not passing any parameter over here and over here as well. So whenever we create, so it means this is the initial phase. Initial phase means whatever you do with the object later on, maybe let's say you call add method, subtract method, it will happen later on. But whenever you are even going to create an object, a respective constructor would be called by the compiler. Okay, or your executable unit. So the compiler would call the default constructor. So in that case, what we can write any message, we can assign initial values to the variables we can assign over here. So constructor is basically used during the object creation. And the another thing, another important thing is, it is it is always and only called during the object creation. So once the object is created, you cannot call the respective constructor until unless you create another object. So once the object is created, you please forget about the concept of constructor. Constructor concept is only when you create the object. So during object creation, your default or parameterized constructor would be called, but after your, you know, the object creation is done, you should forget about the constructor role because constructor role is just stick to the object creation. So during object creation, whatever the logic you write inside the constructor would be executed, but after that line, the constructor code will never be used until unless you create another object. Okay, the second point is constructor uses the same name as the class name, as we have discussed. Constructor is always public, as we have discussed, and it returns nothing. And another point we have just discussed, I have not written, The constructor rule is only during the object creation, but after that, that particular constructor will not be called for that object. For new object it can be called, but for that object you forget about the constructor rule. Okay, so guys, this is about the constructor. So what we can write inside the constructor, because this constructor is a special method and it will automatically gets called before even doing anything with the object. It means you can initialize your variables here. Okay, you can pass the initial values during the object creation. You can pass the values and your constructor would set those values to the variables you have created in your my class or any class. Okay, you can also assign some, or you can print something useful that the object related to the object. So this is actually the very initial phase. That's why we are doing it during the object creation. Let's talk about the constructor types. We have three types of constructors. The very first one is the default one, and this is what we have just discussed, because the default constructors expects no arguments. That is what we have done, right? There is no argument over here, right? And in it is the class name. Okay, the default constructor would use, or any constructor would use, the class name. No argument for the default constructor, open and close parenthesis. Okay, the second one is the parameterized constructor. In that constructor, it is same as the default constructor, except it would provide some access to the parameter. It means during the object call, like over here, we can pass parameters like that. Uh, my obj, and pass 10 and 20. This is what we are saying. It means it should also have a parameterized constructor, right? That is only when these value would be passed to the constructor. If there is nothing, it would provide you some compilation error. Okay, so the second one is the parameterized constructor. It would expect the object to pass some parameters. The third one is the copy constructors. I think at this point of time it is little difficult to explain, or you know it would be little fuzzy to discuss about it. So let me complete first the parameterize. This one we have already completed. Let me complete parameterize, and then we will discuss the copy constructor, and I believe it would be simple enough for you guys to understand then. Okay, so let me go to the parameterized constructor and let me write an example. So parameterized constructor, this is the basic example in which let's come to the main method, in which we have a point class and p1 is the object name. It can be anything, you can choose anything, but point is the point class we have written over here, point class. Okay, so in point class and p1 object we are passing 10 and 15. It means it is calling some parameterized constructor. If there is no constructor, then this part wouldn't be here. Okay, this part wouldn't be here. This part is here because your class must have some parameterized constructor, and your constructor would be expecting the values. So int x1 is the 10 and int y1 is the 15, and your constructor is setting the private values. Okay, it is taking during the object creation and setting your private values. These values are not accessible outside the class if we don't use get methods. But by using these get methods, we cannot set these values, but these values are being set by the parameterized constructor, but we can get those values. Okay, so by calling, if we want to access x, then we can use p1 dot get x, because it is returning x and it would return y, the get y. So this is the way to get the value set by the parameterized constructor. Okay, I think you should have this question in your mind. Then, if we are setting these value and we have not written set methods for like this, int set x, okay, int x, and this dot a equal to x. Why we have not written it, or we are not supposed to write it? Because the constructor is, setting these values already. So this is not so. You can write your set methods. Okay, it is always recommended to write your set methods for the private variables or the get methods for your private variables. The constructor role is just, it will initialize. In this case, it is initializing these values with x1 and y1, which is being passed during the object creation. But if there is a set method, initially these values are 10 and 15, but if you want to change, then you can simply call set methods and your value would be changed to anything you want. But if you don't use set methods, then these value would always be considered as 10 and 50. I hope this is clear. Why? Because the constructor is called during the object creation. Set method you can call anytime. Okay, so my recommendation for you guys to use constructors or parameterized constructor to assign, or some initial values to the variables. But don't just stick to this fact that these values would always be same. If you want to make changes in those values after the variables are being set by the default or parameterized constructors, you should use set methods. Okay, so this is about the parameterized constructor. Let's talk about the copy constructor now. So in a simple term, what is copy constructor? The name itself is saying something. It is saying copy something. Copy constructor. It means if your constructor is constructing means assigning some values or the data to the your private variables or the public variables of your class. It means what it is saying, copy those values. Okay, copy those values. Copy constructor. Constructor means constructing or initializing values to some data, and that data you are supposed to copy. So copy the constructed values. That is what it means of a copy constructor. So for that, let me write an example so that we can understand how to copy a constructor, or what it means to copy a constructor. It means you have assigned some values of for an object to some variables, and by copying the constructor, you means you want to copy the object values, the one you just set, to the another object. That is why it is saying copy constructor. Constructor is the one who is initializing those values. So what we are saying, for an object O1, if you have initialized A and B as 10 and 15, and later on, let's say you have changed. Okay. But what you are trying to say, you want to pass the this created constructor to the another constructor, or to you want to pass that object to the another constructor to make a copy of those variables or the data you have created for your first object. So let me write an example and we will discuss about it then. Okay, so this is the sample class, and in that sample class we have taken a and b as a private variable. Okay, and this is the parameterized constructor. Okay, let's not focus on the copy constructor as of now. This is the parameterized constructor because we are passing parameters to the constructor. Sample is returning nothing, it is same as the class name. Okay, and it is inside the public area. Inside the public area, it is the parameterized constructor, and there is another public method which is adding up those two values and returning. Okay, it is expecting no argument over here. Okay, okay, this is the copy constructor. So what I just said, copy constructor is basically copying the old object data into the current data. Okay, so we have sample old object. Okay, we have sample old object, sample class old object, and we are simply accessing those values and assigning those values to the new values. Okay, so here we will pass the object we have already created, and we have assigned some values in that object for a and b. So what I'm trying to do, for this sample class we are creating another object, because when if I want to call this constructor, it means during the object creation instead of passing these parameters, I need to pass the old object address. Okay, the address or the object is itself. Okay, you probably wouldn't be understanding what I'm saying right now, so let me write a main function. Okay, so this is the main function. So in main function, sample is the sample class, this is the sample class, and s1 is the object name, the first object, and I'm passing 10 and 20. So it definitely would invoke the parameterized constructor. Okay, so at this point of time, when compiler would be executing this line, it would be executing this. So it means the s1 a would be 10, s1 object b would be 20. Okay, this is clear. Let's say we again create an object, the sample s2 object. This is another object, it is not related to the s1 anyhow at this point of time, but we are passing S1 into S2. So there would be something to handle this thing. It means it is saying the this this is the object itself. These are not values. It means this class must also have a reference handling constructor as well. It means this is the reference. Why I'm saying it's a reference? Because let's say for s1 a equal to 10 and b equal to 20, during this call s1, it what it would do, it would call a and it would call the parameterized constructor, but before that it must assign the values or the memory for a and b. That's why we then only we can assign the values to a and b if there is a memory assigned to that. So if there we have already assigned memories for a and b, then we can call the constructor. We cannot call the constructor without having the memory. Okay, so we have assigned the memory, and then the compiler would call this parameterized constructor, and it would assign during this first line, it would assign a as 10 and b is 20. In case of this, it would sample to, it will assign the memory. First of all, it will assign the memory, and initially the values of a and b would be 0, but it depends on what type of constructor you have called. It's a default constructor, it's a parameterized constructor, or it's a reference constructor. So this one is the reference constructor. What we are doing, we are taking everything in the memory, everything, and passing to it to the s2, means the another object. So this is everything about the s1, and we are passing over here to s2. It means this sample class must also have a reference constructor which can handle the reference or the object itself. That is what we are doing here. The old object is actually the reference of for this object in the memory. Okay, s1 is this in the memory. If we don't have s1, then how can we access a and b? That is what we are doing, right? S1 would be the pointer, okay, and A and B would be in the values inside the pointer. Let's say A is 4 byte and B is also 4 byte. It means by, and if the starting address of A is 102437, so this ending address would be 8. It would take 8 bytes, okay, and it would change to 102445. Okay, because the consecutive 8 bytes are being used for the two integer values, and it can be accessed by s1 pointer, because s1 is the one who is constructing a and b inside the class, and s1 is the object of sample, and it should provide the memory for a and b, the initial data. Okay, and we are passing those values as a s1, we are passing into the s2 constructor, and this is also a constructor call, and that is here. So we are passing s1 here for reference, and this is actually s2. So we are taking s1 values into s2, so s2 would be new, and the values would also be same, because we are accessing the values and assigning. Let's say we have assigned this to this and this to this. It We are the swapped, we now we have the swapped values of a and b. Okay, so we can do in our own convenience, but this is how it would be. So after this call, Okay, it would also assign the, definitely it would assign the stack or the heap according to the uh, it's the variables are global or the local variable, it depends on that. So the assign of 10 and 20 would be considered after this constructor call. So this is the copy constructor. Copy constructor means you want to access the data from one constructor and you want to copy that data to another constructor or another object. So once you create S1 and you might have said A and B in that object and you want to use those values in a new object. That's why we have passed S1 inside S2. And for that, your class must provide a reference constructor which can take the reference of the object as well. So this is about the uh, you know the copy constructor. I have written some important points regarding the copy constructor, so it would be super easy for you guys to keep on track about the copy constructor. Although we have discussed, but you must be aware about these points we have discussed during the this practical implementation. So the copy constructor name is also the same as the current name. Okay, if you pay little attention, the name of the copy constructor is also same as the current class name. The second is copy constructor takes reference or the class argument instead of the parameters, simple integer or float, it takes the reference. So the class must handle the reference constructor as well. The copy constructors mainly used in operator overloading. We will cover about this topic in future lecture. Copy constructor job is to copy old data values from old object to new or current class data members. That is what we have done, right? We have copied the data from the old object and pasted to the new values or the same values of for the new object. Okay, we are copying those values. So this is about the copy constructor. I would say it is very important part of having a constructor. Okay, so guys, this is about constructor. We have discussed types of constructor, in that we have discussed default, parameterized, and the copy constructor. Copy constructor is very important when we will be discussing about the operator overloading in our subsequent lectures. So thank you guys for today's lecture.